Good afternoon. I'm here with Omar Chikhaoui from Capital Invest, a major private equity investor here in Morocco. And we're going to be asking a few questions on what it's like to be a private equity investor in Morocco and what looks interesting in this part of the world. So firstly, Omar, what kind of investments do you make in Morocco?
We do basically growth capital transactions and buyout transactions for SMEs, either for companies based in Morocco or North Africa. We have offices in Casablanca, and we are planning to open a new office in Tunisia. And in 2014, we have plans to expand to West Africa. We basically manage three funds for total funds under management, around 250 million euros. 70% of this amount is dedicated to Morocco, 20% to North Africa, and 10% to West Africa. Okay.
Sounds like you've been busy over the last few years.
Yes, it's really surprising. Even the Arab Springs had some effect and impact on the region. In Morocco, we continued to invest heavily. We made 6 transactions in 2011 and 4 transactions in 2012. Most of those transactions were exit. Okay. 25% of those exits were made in the stock market, and the remaining exits were mostly by industrial exit and selling to industrial partner either in Morocco or in Europe.
That's very impressive to make so many exits during such a time of high volatility and uncertainty through North Africa. Can you tell us a little bit about what your investors were saying through this time?
Okay, first of all, our investors were very scared following what happened in North Africa following January 2011. Hopefully in Morocco we didn't have an impact. The country stayed stable, and it's very important. And more than that, I think we took advantage of the instability in the region, and we increased the interest of LPs on our industry. And the main point in which we focus is, first of all, to make exit and to give back money to our LPs, and giving back money to LPs with also a very good return. So from that experience, 2011, I think the country and the industry by itself gained a lot of confidence from LPs. We are in the process of raising another fund for 100 million euro, and we saw the credibility that the industry and the country started to have in the international market. So we are having more international LPs than what we did in the past.
And just to pick up on that, where are your current LPs based, and where are you seeing interest from in North Africa from around the world?
Okay. 60% of our LPs are mainly international LPs from Europe, mainly because of the proximity we have with European countries. 50% of those LPs are DFIs, international development agencies, and 20 to 25% of those LPs are commercial LPs. We have also very important LPs, domestic LPs that come from insurance companies, pension funds, banking system, and so forth. So overall, we have a well-diversified LPs, local and international.
And what is it that the international LPs like? What do they find attractive about this region?
Well, I think one of the main elements is to be able to cover a region instead of having a single country fund. It's also a gateway to both North Africa and also to the African sub-Saharan countries. And I think also for the last 12 years, the industry showed a lot of maturity and also a very good return to LPs, either through our fund or a competitor fund. So I think, and finally, we have to bear in mind also those LPs are are accepting the risk that they're taking in the region. So they are mostly international development agencies that they are willing to take the risk in the region, and I think so far so good. They are well satisfied either by the return that they are having on their investment, and also the impact that their investment is having on the investing companies and the country or the region as a whole.
That's an interesting point around the impact that private equity capital can have. Maybe you can expand on that a bit and tell us what it's meant to the private equity companies that you've actually invested in terms of perhaps jobs, in terms of the expansion of those businesses.
Okay, just I give you figures of the association that is responsible for the private equity in Morocco. We have a yearly statistics that is published on a yearly basis, and really showed the impact of the private equity on the investing companies and mostly on SMEs. I'll give you 2 numbers or 3 numbers. The impact of the job creation, we had a job creation of more than 25%, which is a highest rate than what the economy as a whole has done for the last 10 years. It has an impact on the organizations and also on the management quality of those companies. Most of the companies today are well organized, are having well industrial equipment, and are very competitive comparison to European companies or to North African companies. And finally, I think the other impact is on the activity of those companies. So for the last 10 years, those investing companies have shown a growth rate of more than 14%. So I think the impact is very huge, and the opportunities are still out there. So through this interview, I would like to invite more LPs to the region and to consider the region in their investment horizon for the upcoming years.
Well, thank you very much. It sounds like the Moroccan region has both returns and a huge amount of impact from the capital that actually comes into the region. So thanks very much to Omar Chikhaoui.
Thank you.